Afternoon, everybody. How is everybody doing this afternoon? This is Lalita, your co-host for High Tea with VaYU Shakti. Folks, we're sorry we are a little late. Our tea was brewing and it took a little longer today. So sorry about that. Saurabh, how are you doing and how was your afternoon, your day today?
Hey, Lita. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's a great afternoon today. The weather is awesome. I was actually out for last couple of hours with my kids in the park, and it was a great outing.
Awesome. That's so true to your profession, being active and up and running, huh? Being a yoga.
Yeah. Mhm.
Wonderful. So for people and folks who have listeners who don't know what we do here in this forum, this is a very friendly, very chilled out and a very, a happening forum where we share what's happening with VaYU Shakti. Bring your tea along. If you're a coffee drinker, bring your coffee along. Share a conversation with us. Ask us questions. Get to know more about us. Yeah, there you go. I've got my water here right now. I got to make my tea was not brewing fast enough today. But VaYU Shakti is an integrative wellness solution provider company for you. And here with High Tea with VaYU Shakti, we are here to kind of converse with you, chit chat with you, talk to you, tell you about the dynamic programs that we do. And every week we do have something new going on. It's pretty exciting, isn't it, Saurabh? If you do want to share a little bit about what we have done in the last two sessions and how we're kind of engaging differently now, add some value to that, please.
Oh, sure. Why not? So, we have talked about it in the last couple of weeks. Upcoming month, September is the fall prevention month. So definitely there is a lot of excitement around that, when it comes to the elder care industry in general and at VaYU Shakti as well. So we have been hard at work, preparing for that. And we are looking to roll out some very specific programming during the month of September for fall prevention, and we have talked enough about it, so I'm not going to belabor that point. Anybody who's interested can go back and look at some other recordings from the previous weeks. But what we also did, we started thinking about, hey, summer is about to get, over. As I said, I was out, in the middle of the afternoon, and it was still a little chilly, I would say, when you are in the
Mhm.
shade. So as you see, temperatures are going to start dropping very soon in a month or so. We wanted to offer something which people can do during the fall season and upcoming winter season. So what we have done is we have started a completely new program where we are going to be providing only remote programming for this particular program, and we have made it very cost effective for people who might be interested. So any elder care institute or any other association where they're dealing with older adults, or I would even say people who are getting into the older adult category. It's a very very nice program. You can offer that to your members, you can offer that to your family members. As I said, it's very very cost effective, so anybody can do it, even for your in if you are a single person and want to do it as an individual. I think the cost is hardly anything, so you should be able to do it if you wanted to do it. So that's new and exciting. We are looking forward, to offer that program starting somewhere around next month. As I said, as temperatures start dropping. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, in effect, we are providing a virtual platform for you where you can sit in your own house and still be active without just being sitting in the chair. We're going to keep you active and up on your toes, where we will be engaging you with yoga. We'll be giving you a lot of insight on nutrition. We also engage you with lifestyle coaching. And as Saurabh so rightly said, if you're wondering if this is only available for the elder community, that is just one particular sector that we handle at VaYU Shakti, because we are a wellness provider company. We are very dynamic and we are very enthusiastic about providing the programs in a large scale for a bigger demographics. So if it's for your school program, we have school going back to school again in September. So if you want it for a school program, if you want it for your hospital setting, at a healthcare setting, today the importance of yoga is not just involved with physical exercises, but it's also mental exercise. And I'm sure Saurabh is going to give you a great insight about the Ashtanga yoga and the niche that we give you with the yoga, type of yoga that we provide, which is not just about physical exercises, but it's the exercise of the mind, body, and the soul. So, having said that, the reason why we engage with the social media platform conversation is to make people aware of something that we have like this, which can be at your disposal, at your convenience, at your favorable time. Even if you do want it to be done in the middle of the day, in the afternoons, in the evenings, you can talk to us, get to our website and know more about us, which is vayushakti.yoga. But Saurabh, tell them a little bit more about the Ashtanga yoga. People who are aware of yoga, yoga is like the buzzword today. Every
Mhm.
community has yoga. But how much more can you enlighten them about Ashtanga yoga? What is Ashtanga?
Well, Ashtanga, as it goes by Sanskrit, right? So Ashta means eight, Anga means limbs. So these are not really steps, but these are, limbs. So the connotation is that these are not sequential. These are eight different, branches, call them, or limbs is the technical word that we use for that. Forms of different, call them practices, call them interventions, that together form the whole practice of yoga, when it comes to people who follow the seminal work of sage Patanjali, right? So Patanjali wrote a seminal work called Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It's a compilation of 196 aphorisms, and in that he essentially offered two different ways of practicing yoga.
Hmm.
This is something which we have not talked a whole lot about. So let me just repeat that. He
Sure.
talks about two different forms of yoga. It's not
Oh,
only Ashtanga yoga, although Ashtanga yoga has become much more popular. One of the primary reasons for that is that it is available for all types of people, right? When I say type, you can think about people who are very active, people who are by nature, right? People who are by nature very active, people who are by nature very dull, people, I mean, all kinds of people, right?
mm,
While he does offer one more form, which we don't talk a whole lot about, but that is called Kriya Yoga. Uh,
mm,
Kriya Yoga is a little bit more challenging, I would say. It is not really available. I mean, it's not conducive. Let's put it that way. For everybody, it requires a little bit different bent of mind. So we don't talk a whole lot about that because uh, you are either a type of person who is suitable for that form of practice or you are not, right? But Ashtanga Yoga more or less is available for anybody and everybody. Why? Because it has eight limbs. If you're not conducive for one, you could be doing something else. If you are not conducive for something else, you could do something else, right? So it's a whole gamut of things. And just to kind of tie it down completely, right? It's the eight limbs are Yama, Niyama, which is the civil and the moral codes for personal hygiene and stuff like that. Then there is asanas, which is the physical exercises part of it. Then there is a pranayama, which is breathing exercises. There is pratyahara, which essentially means turning your gaze or turning your attention inside rather than
mm,
focusing on outside. That then there's something called dharana, which is focusing on something very very intensely. Then there is dhyana, which or more or less translates to meditation. But the idea is that you are defocusing, you are expanding your awareness. And then finally there is a concept of samadhi, which essentially means that you are blissful wherever you are. So
mm.
those are the eight different limbs of what form as Ashtanga yoga.
Wow, that's quite a bit to reflect on and to take in. And most certainly, I'm sure our viewers are quite intrigued by it, and they've probably heard it in the past from other people. But the aspect of Kriya Yoga, which is very intriguing also to understand, and me being a novice with yoga compared to where you are, I would say. My foothold with yoga is, I think it's a way of life. I think the way I relate to yoga is through my dance and through my art. But I think if you do engage in the 8 limbs of yoga the way you're saying, you don't need a life coach. You don't need any other coaching. This is pretty much the essence of life and the living of life with it in its best capacity. So the scriptures have certainly given us a lot of wonderful things that we can enchant people with. And I'm so glad that at VaYU Shakti we can provide them that particular aspect, yet provide them with a very modern perspective where
Yeah.
you can also do it virtually, number one, and you can also be digitally savvy with it. And where I would like to throw light here is that if you bring your IoT devices, if you bring your Apple watches, if you bring your Fitbit, if you bring your electronic records of your medical records, we can integrate this. And we're actually in the process of working with an institution to do this with a very cool digital app that can integrate a lot of your wellness aspects and map it out for you to tell you where you stand with your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and social well-being. So how exciting is that, Saurabh? I think we are on for a great journey. And I just want to remind our audience that even though we have the banner of the elder care behind us representing VaYU Shakti for you, we're not just about elder care, we are also available, and we also provide dynamic programs for the youth, dynamic programs for the adults, dynamic programs for children, for women, for men, and much more. And also more specific codified programs for specific disease conditions, as in they have something very specific as a yoga program for depression, something very specific as a yoga program for Alzheimer's, and
Mhm.
the list goes on and on. So, Saurabh, lastly, what I did want to ask, and also probably have you share that insight, is that we are also in the process of engaging with universities and putting a foothold there where we can partner with them. And it's very exciting going that route. And I know we're going to have some wonderful speakers coming on board with us to exchange some notes with that. But
Yeah.
just give some insight to our audience, just kind of giving them a climax about it. And then we'll keep them in suspense, and then reveal it very soon to them. So please enlighten them a little bit.
Well, I would say, that aspect is actually comes very naturally to us, right? I mean, if you look at our journey, we started from a university, right? We are all a product of VaYU University. VaYU is our parent organization. We are incubated out of VaYU University. But in parallel, what we are doing is we are also reaching out to other universities and kind of forming more academic relationships, and that allows us to tap into more human resources, more academic resources, guidance from the thought leaders who are associated with that university and stuff like that. So although I'm not quite ready to talk a lot in detail about that, but as you rightly said, yes, that's sort of a teaser, and I think in the coming weeks we would definitely be willing to talk more about it and provide more information. And talking about teasers, I would say one more thing. And again, I'm not quite ready to talk about it more in detail, but as you rightly said, we are not just elder care. So to that extent, there's a very unique and probably at one level, I would probably say even unheard of intervention in a certain demography, which we are going to be starting in a couple of weeks. Um, I would like to talk about it once it is a reality, but please stay tuned for that, because you will probably be quite surprised to know who are we going to be working with and for what very soon.
Absolutely. Let's keep the excitement on. Let's keep our audience engaged. Let's have them ask us questions. Let's have them chat with us. Bring your tea along, bring your coffee along, bring your drink along. After you come out from your nice workout, if you want to get a nice chit chat and know more about yoga, and stay tuned to the aspects of various aspects of yoga, nutrition, and lifestyle coaching. Stay tuned for High Tea with VaYU Shakti every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, this is your host, and with my co host, Saurabh, Lalita Ramamurthy, signing off. Have a wonderful Friday ahead and a beautiful weekend ahead. Stay well, stay safe, and stay warm. Thank you very much.